So let's go to a demo here of metaphors. Okay, so we're exploring metaphors, and I had a request. Somebody wanted to be my metaphoree. Is that correct, Meena?
Yes.
What kind of yes is that yes?
Agreement. I'm in agreement.
You are in agreement? So when you are in agreement, how do you know you're in agreement? Where is that in your body?
I feel it in my brain that I have, that I understand what you're saying, or I go by what you're saying.
You go by what I'm saying. And where would you like to go with what I'm saying?
That's a good question. I would like to go places with my clients, or I would like to go places with my knowledge, and skills
Yes.
with my clients. Yeah.
Yes. And when you go with your clients, with your knowledge and your skills, what kind of places are the places you'd like to go to?
That's a good question because there's no clear definition of the places that I would like to go to. It is a clear definition of where they would like to go to. So they are the ones who are leading, and I'm the one who are following them.
And when they're leading to the places they know and you're following, what would following like to have happen next?
Maybe understanding. Following is understanding, or yeah, I think understanding is the word here.
And what if not understanding and still following? Because only they know the place.
Yeah, that's right. They know the place. They are the leaders. The person on the couch is the boss. I'm a facilitator. So yes, it is an understanding of their state, being with them in that state, and yet they are the ones who are leading.
So does facilitator need to understand?
Yes, facilitator does need to understand, be on the same page.
Why does facilitator need to be on safe page in a place that only they know?
Now that's a good one because facilitating a session and taking them and helping them move forward, the understanding is important.
And what if understanding isn't important?
When I say understand, it is being empathetic. It is being able to, like again, I said, be on the same page, be as to where they are.
Why is it important for a facilitator to be where they are?
To walk the path with them.
So what if the place where they want to go or they want to be is facilitated with knowledge and skill? And what if that place is so private that they want to be alone there, but they still want help?
I stop. Right. Can you just come again? I didn't understand this question, Ulf.
So they want to go to a place, and facilitator with knowledge and skill is guiding them to help them find a place that only they know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if this place is a very private place And they're not prepared to let facilitator be on the same page. They want to go there alone, find it out, and say thank you for helping me find it.
Right. So that is that is that is fine with us. As a facilitator, we do give them the space. Um, like sometimes in hypnosis also, they don't want to talk about it. They're feeling it, they're feeling the experience, but not verbalizing it. So it's fine. So it's the same thing I feel when they are in their own space and they do not want to share with us. And they are quite happy being in that space. And that is the ultimate goal of a facilitator, that the client wants to go to a goal, to a place where he is happy.
Yes. So does facilitator have to be happy then as well?
Yes, it does give you a feeling of that. Yes, you're there with them.
Yes, but is that for the sake of facilitator or for the sake of client?
I suppose for both, because the client has reached the goal that he or she wanted to. So the facilitator is also feeling the same kind of uh, fulfillment, I will say.
So what does fulfillment know about being facilitator?
I know. I knew that I was coming into a deadlock. Yeah, sorry, you said something.
So what does fulfillment know about being a facilitator?
I don't know how to put it into words. It's a feeling that you get that, okay, um, you can see, like you said, collaborate in the client, that there is a shift, there is a change in the
So when
body
you
language.
cannot put it into words, that is like what?
Well, I think I can say it is happiness. It is again fulfillment. Again, I'll go back to the same word that I'm using.
So what is happiness like? What that is like what?
I will not say to have done your job, but you have fulfilled your. I mean, the session has gone well. You have done well. I mean, the client has done well, and so you're feeling good about it, because there's been a huge shift in
So who will know if the client has done well?
the client himself or herself. Yeah.
And what if client cannot put words to that but
Again, the
still
body
feels it?
language. Yes. Yeah. Body
Yeah.
language. I sometimes tell my client, it just seems that you visited the parlor next door, because you're beaming. Your skin is so soft, and you are, smiling. So that body language tells me that that the client has made a huge shift in the
Yes.
persona and has come out of the, or is trying to come out of the issue that he or she is in.
And would you mind terribly if I interpret on how that could be cleaner?
Yeah, sure.
So telling them something seems to have shifted is clean. Telling them because your skin is beaming is making them self-conscious about them and you.
Hmm.
So you exit the clean space the moment you're telling them anything you're guessing about them. That's when it
Right.
no longer is clean. And the moment they need to put words on something so that you can understand it and be on the same page, they are exiting the wonderful wordless world where they can feel things that words cannot describe. Because the moment you try to describe happiness or fulfillment, it shrinks into something so far away from what
Right.
it feels like. Would you agree?
I understand that. What you're saying is just right. Because when I was in the beginning, when I spoke about the value of distress, and they said that they were high or at 8, and now where are you? I think I've come down to 2 and I'm feeling so good about it. And then I asked them, what is the metaphor? Oh, I feel like so free as a bird. I'm flying in the air. There's no stress, or there's no burden on my shoulders anymore.
Yeah. And there you are. Perfect. Now, is this an okay place to pause?
Yeah, absolutely. Because like the others, our participants have been saying, it is it is shifting gears, you know. So I'm learning to shift gears from my traditional hypnotherapy practice to clean language, and I think it's working very well. And especially what I was saying in my last session also, this really has helped all my clients, and I can see that they are better placed to be able to understand the feelings and be able to project them.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're going to ask what people notice now so that we can deconstruct this and learn from it. Thank you for joining me in this exploration.
Thank you, Wolf. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So who wants to give this a go? What did you notice? What happened?
I feel like her worth as a facilitator revolved around if her client was in a better spot. And I fall into that as well.
When people say they've gone from 9 to 8, I just neutrally ask, is that good or bad? And some will say it's fantastic. It's the first time I've experienced this kind of change ever. And other people say, what do you notice that is different? And they say, no, it's still there. And it's because the meeting they have on Monday is still there, or the parking ticket is still there, or the debt is still there. So they're going to their logical mind to see if the world shifted because their feeling shifted. And sometimes you have to help them with that. Yes, the parlor next door, that's a great metaphor. To say to somebody, something seems to have shifted, you seem to have thought about something, that's what Black Swan techniques call labeling. You're labeling something you notice, and that's usually providing safety, and it's a good hypnotic technique. People will correct you, so if you're wrong, it doesn't matter. You did notice a shift when you calibrated, and all you don't need to point out to them, you seem to have thought of something because your eyes darted up to the left in a micro expression, because that's about you and your noticing. That's not what you want. But if you say you seem to have thought of something and they go no, then it could be that they're not even aware that they just thought of something. But any shift in physiology that you calibrate is a shift in a thought and emotion. That's how we are. We can't change it. It's the way we work. So I don't know if anybody wants to comment some more on that. I used so many metaphors in there, and I used so much clean language on purpose, and it was all evolving around the metaphors. We were picking up every single word from the start. It was like Meena said, can we, I'd like to try dancing. And so I took her hand and we started dancing immediately, which you will see if you go back on it. So it was a delightful exploration where every single step she took, and I calibrated if she'd like to take it to the right or the left or to stand still, and looked to follow her in that until a point where I stepped out of clean, because we are exploring it together, just to take a perspective on what it actually means. Now, you might argue that it's all about the client and not about us. And at the same time, of course, we should feel fulfilled if what we do is providing the result that we wished for. But it shouldn't be the result we wish for. It should be the result they wish for. And that's where the clean comes in. So we shouldn't ask the client to tell us they're happy for us to be fulfilled. We should be so good at calibrating that we notice that the skin is beaming and they look like they visited the parlor next door. And so, like a parent not explaining everything to a child, we simply tell ourselves, I might be able to feel some fulfillment here, and I'm not sure, and that's okay. And again, I say that because we seem to believe that there is a result of a session. A client comes and says, I want this, and we're supposed to give them that. That's completely wrong. They have no idea what they need, and you have no idea what they need. And maybe they can only take a small step in a new direction. We don't know that. And a session can end in probably 10,000 ways or 100,000, I have no idea. And out of them, 80% can be really great and change their whole life. And we don't know that. So the reason I want to go on that is because metaphor is hidden in every single word. Every single word, every single thing we do is metaphorical. We are metaphorical hypnotic creatures. We use our mind to be more than just mindless robots, creatures, animals. And maybe animals are the same. So if we want to communicate with metaphors, we want to do it safely, with efficacy, and playfully. And that means that there are principles we need to follow. And these principles are simple. I take great pain to never explain a metaphor. Never explain it. If I was to say, and this maps onto whatever's on the head of the dog, and you'd be thinking differently about it, and you might not have noticed there was something there. And stereotypes allow not only mistakes and bad treatment, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Stereotypes allow violence. You cannot shoot a stranger unless you have labeled them as an enemy in your head. How can you even go and shoot somebody you don't know in a war that somebody else taught you to fight? Just because somebody said, everybody in the other color gets to be shot. And metaphors are always personal. You know, it's like that dog in old slide 15. And you all nod and go, yeah, it's like that dog. And you all mean different things. One of you had a dog like that. One of you is wondering what's on its head. And therefore, they need to be clean. So this is more like blowing bubbles or blowing glass than it is like anything else. It doesn't happen in you. You might never understand what happens. It's in the other person. And it's your skill in calibrating that gives you the answer if something shifted. And that's why the clean follow-up is, what do you notice that is different? And I applaud to you, Liz, because you did that in the session with John D. What do you notice that is different? Is that good or bad? Again, their perspective on it, their reflection, not your reflection. Not, is it good? Is that good or bad? And that's just completely different. And when you're mirroring people, if they say, you know, I have this issue in my mind, then you can say, my mind, but you don't say, issue in my mind, because that's something completely different. If it was music, you'd be agreeing immediately. That's another song. That's not the same song. You can say, fling, fling, flong, your flop, flop, and down the free. Yeah, it's the melody, but it's not the words, right? So inflection and tone and rhythm, it's all the melody and the words and the tone and the content.